Hello there, CIT 325. This is Jose Corrubias, and I will be explaining in a very quick manner the user-defined exceptions. There is basically two ways or three ways to use or to declare a user-defined exception, which would help to catch errors and to point users to what those errors mean and why they would trigger. The first way to do that is in a very simple way, and you probably read it on the book, that you have to declare the variable for the exception and the declare block, and you can throw the or trigger that exception by using the word erase, which is a excluded word um, for SQL, and that way it would trigger the error and it will print the user defined, in this case, the um, the code on that message or on that error. The other way is to use the Pragma um, um, precompiler, which allows you to map your exception to a number. You can give it specific numbers, and later on in the same book, it gives us an example where you can actually combine all three or these two that I will explain briefly um, ways of declaring an exception. So you map your exception with the variable and the number on this way. You use the erase word to trigger that exception, and it will print the code. The other way to do it is to use a dynamic user-defined exception. This one um, has a couple things that makes it different. First of all, if you notice, the this is a function. It's called raise up application error, and it takes two parameters, and it has a third one which is optional, which takes true or false variable booleans to trigger the exception at all times or only when necessary. And the difference, as you can see, that this function does not need to be declared or put on a declare block. It can be declared on the begin block or the execution block. Um, and it helps you to first give a distinctive message to the exception that has been triggered. And like I said, there's three parameters. The first one has to be the number, which will map the string or the text message that you will print, and that's how you declare those three the user-defined exceptions. And I will run that here. I have that already on my SQL environment. I will click enter, and as you can see here, it prints the first one, which is this one right here, and it uses the SQL error message to print that out, and it prints the code. And then on the second one, you see it prints my code that I gave and the message that I indicated to be used. And that explains the user-defined exceptions. Thank you.